I have been studying how I may compare this prison where I live unto the world. And for because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Yet I'll hammer it out. My brain I'll prove the female to my soul the father, and these two beget a generation of still breeding thoughts. And these same thoughts people this little world. These are the opening lines from Act 5, Scene 5 of King Richard II, a speech that is striking me more and more as strangely appropriate to life in quarantine. Hi, folks. Brett Elliott, Associate Artistic Director of the Kingsman Shakespeare Company. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I had the chance to play Richard II on the 2019 season. And I got to tell you, of all the characters I've played, and I've had the chance to play Hamlet a couple of times, Henry V, Romeo, Brutus in Julius Caesar, Mark Antony in Julius Caesar. Richard was probably not the most physically demanding, certainly, maybe not even the most emotionally demanding, but I would say it was definitely the most perplexing. And as a result, the most daunting, I think, for me personally. And this speech that I was just reciting a piece of, in particular, I found particularly problematic. Maybe that's not quite the right word. I think daunting would certainly be the right word. It scared me as I was starting to work on it. In my opinion, this speech is the crux of Richard II. It is the fulcrum on which the character of Richard turns. The entire play has been leading up to this speech, and what an actor chooses to do with this speech has a sort of domino effect backwards. It tells the audience how to read the rest of Richard's life. It tells the audience how Richard reads the rest of his life, all the mistakes, all the actions that he's done up until then. And being the title character as a consequence, it also, in my view, tells the audience what to make of the whole play. An actor's and a director's interpretation of this speech, more than any other speech, in my opinion, in the play, determines what the play means. So what I would like to do, if you're game, is take you through this speech. I will look at the context of the speech, both in terms of the play and the character, and maybe a little in terms of the rest of Shakespeare. Talk about meaning of this speech. What exactly is he saying? What do the words mean? This is a process we have to go through when we're tackling Shakespeare as opposed to a modern play. And then last, I'll talk about interpretation, how I read this speech, what I think are the major signposts and mile markers, so to speak, how I find shape in it. I think that it's a pitfall, particularly for younger actors, when they see a big block of text like this on the page. It's like this shapeless, imposing tower of text on a page. And we get intimidated by it. We don't know how to tackle it. We want to get through it. We're sort of amped by it and a little bit intimidated by it. And as a result, it can kind of end up being a wash. And if not that, it can also be a bit of a declaration of emotion to an audience, or a declaration of thought to an audience, instead of a conversation, which is what it really should be. It's a dialogue, even though it is a monologue or a soliloquy. It's got to be a conversation with the audience, and the speech itself has to be a journey. What is the character's reason for needing to say all of these words? Why does he need to say the next word, as having just said, the 40 lines that came before it? And most importantly, how is the character different when he finishes the speech than he was at the beginning of the speech? What is the journey? What did he learn? How has he been transformed? He has to be transformed. Otherwise, there's no reason for the speech to exist. There's no drama, there's no theater there. Theater is about transformation, is about journey. So, I hope you'll join me as we explore this monster of a speech, the one that has come to be, I think, my favorite speech in the canon of Shakespeare. It didn't start out that way. But I find it very, very wise in an understated way. I find it incredibly layered. and I find it deeply, deeply human. I love it. So join me, if you will, and if you enjoy it half as much as I do, you'll have a great time. Thanks.